For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a review on the Kampa Croyde Classic 6 Air. So it's a updated model for 2017 season. Joys of it, it's got some major changes for the 2017 season, so it's very worth bearing in mind. Initially what you might think, Christ, they've made it look different. They've introduced a new sort of front canopy to it. Joys of being actually it zips on, so that's what you see here. So really the tent doesn't actually start until this second beam here, so I wouldn't get too thinking it's too big. So this part is an optional extra, zips on as you own please, but the main thing is the classic material, so it's polycotton, so it's a lot more breathable. The whole principle of polycotton is naturally reacts to the air's temperature, so in hotter weather the weave opens up and it becomes allows air to pass through it, so it's a lot cooler inside, whereas actually in colder weather the weave carries on and stays contracted to keep the warmth in. So ideally it's the best material because it just reacts to the air temperature, and certainly if you go into continental Europe, that air change really makes a whole lot of difference to the temperature inside the tent. So the small drawbacks to it is it's a bit heavier, bit bigger in terms of the pack size and necessarily more expensive, but if you go into Europe and the hot weather, it is the better, and it's kind of worth jumping to that if you can. So it's the baby sister to the Studland 8 Air Classic, so it's a little bit smaller, so if you don't want quite as big a tent, it's a good one to go for. Joys of it is it's still sleeps 6, but has this year for the 2017 season an extra inner you can buy for the living area to create, like what you got with the Studland, an 8-person model. So an optional extra which is good to look at. Kampa for this year have introduced a new pegging system. So you've got blue tabs for the main 4 corners, and if you look at our pitching videos, we go over sort of different ways to do that, so it's worth having a look at. But the guy rope points all work differently. So rather than pegging the base first and then the guy ropes after, it goes in one single pegging point. So really you just pull it out, and because you peg the main 4 corners, the next one down, by pegging it out, it pulls it out to keep it sure it's nice and tight, and then you just tension the guy rope point, and then you've got a small little retainer to keep it all nice and tidy. So it's a great little feature and certainly makes the whole pitching process just that little bit more quicker. I mean, initially, to be fair, it's fairly quick anyway, and you can see that from our pitching videos that we do on this particular model, but it just gets that next level up. What we'll do is we'll have a quick look inside and talk through a few more features which actually have changed ready for the 2017 season. So now we're inside the Croyde 6 Classic. First thing you can see is the sort of main canopy areas. There's 3 areas to the tents. There's the front canopy area, the main living area, and the back area there where you sort of sleep 6 people. Joys of, we'll start with the canopy area and work our way back in terms of talking about features. So the canopy area, obviously predominantly meant for sort of cooking, decent sort of area, loads of room. You've got 2 PVC windows on each side with the ability of curtains as well, so you can get your privacy when you want to. So if you're leaving your equipment in place, you can have the peace of mind that you can quite happily put your stuff, leave your stuff in here, zip up the doors, and then don't have to worry about people looking and seeing, oh, they've got a nice cooker or something like that. So, I mean, I know the general consensus on the campsite is pretty friendly and not really much tends to go wrong, but you've got the assurity there as well if you want to. The front door can be put into 3 different positions, so you can have a sort of a third open, 2/3 or completely open like we have here. You've got the ability on this new 2017 model of a zip-on canopy, which you could see from the outside. Like I said, an optional extra, which is a good thing. What you can do as well, in the canopy area comes the ground sheets. It's supplied with the tent. Joys of it, you can put it down so you can have it as a complete dry area if you want to. Personally, my personal opinion, I think you take it out and just have it as a wet area, because it means if you have that front door open, you can allow the air, basically rain, to come down, and it's not going to collect on the ground sheet. So remove that if you will, use it as a grassy area, and then if you're spilling your fat when you're cooking or anything like that, not an issue. One thing you've got in sort of from the living area to the canopy area is a flat door, which I absolutely adore. It's one thing that stops your kids flying through the air like Superman because they're tripping up on this ledge. So it certainly helps them and stops all the cries, which for me is priceless. So one thing as well is you've got this zip divider here. So in theory, what you can do is actually open the tent up to make it one big, nice open area. So it becomes very versatile, and one thing not many of tents and its competitors actually do. You've got a ventilation panel on top here, so you can get a nice circulation of air, sort of battling condensation and keeping it sort of very fresh and airy in here, not too much sort of clingy or muggy. You've got PVC windows in the main living area to each side here as well as not only in the front. Any PVC window that you can see on the inside has the ability of curtains, so even in say the side doors where you've got a PVC window and the option of mesh, you've still got the privacy there, so you can make it completely enclosed and no one has an idea what's going on inside the tent. So certainly, and also help with not waking up at the crack of dawn with the sunlight coming in straight away. One feature you tend to get with most tents these days is Mower mains hookup points. So you can get little cable entry points down the base here, and same on the other side. Again, it just offers a bit more luxury, so you can have the hookup point inside without having to sort of have a door left open the whole time. So that's a great little thing. You've got multiple hanging points for lanterns, as well as Velcro tabs as well, so you can have the cable going along. But one thing that Kampa have invented this year for the 2017 season is something called their Sabre Lights. So they do a sort of flexi Sabre Light, which just Velcros in the top here, and means you can actually just have it in the roof. So the joys of it is you can almost have like a roof light 1, 2, 3, 4. So every beam 1, 2 in the main living area here, and even one in the canopy area, you can actually have lighting and put the cables down and link them up. So the joys of that means is you don't have to have lanterns anymore. It's just basically embedded in the roof. So it takes up less roof space. You're not going to smack your head as you come flying through as well. A new feature for the 2017 season in the Croyde as well is the ability to put an inner bedroom in a living area. Similar to the Studland, so you can actually make it an 8-berth bedroom, but it's an optional extra on the Croyde, whereas it's included in the Studland. So it's the one just here. Admittedly, due to the small living area, it is actually smaller than the Studland because you've got less room really, but it still gives you that extra versatility of sleeping an extra 2 people if you want to, and make it a nice big 8-berth tent. The next thing they've updated for the camper models is the bedrooms. So you've got 6 sleeping at the back here, but the dividers, so make it up into a 2, 2 and a 2. This year for the 2017 season, there's dividers all the way around. So it becomes actually a completely separate 2-berth in a bedroom inside of it. So in last year for 2016, it was sort of just around the sides, not along the bottom. So you could stick your hand under no end and do, smack someone if you wanted to. Our kids far these days. So yeah, it's completely sealed up, so it feels like an separate section altogether. You've still got a mesh panel and the doors, storage pockets for keys, the remote control for the Sabre Lights, that sort of stuff. So loads of little features as well. On the side doors, so you've got one on that side, one on this side. Like I said, they both have mesh, you can get a good circulation of air. But this one on the side here has got a canopy pole. So this is your rain-safe door. So you can enter and exit through here if you don't want to go through the front without having to worry about the rain coming in. Likewise, if it's chucking it down with rain and you still feel quite hot, use the mesh door, leave the main door open, and the joy is that you get good circulation without having all the water come in. So really nice model. Certainly if you're not looking to go up to the Studland, it's a good model to go for. I mean, personally, I feel if you can stretch that extra bit of money, extra sort of £300 if you can, to go for the Studland, it's well worth it. Certainly I'm thinking that more for the height aspect and the room you've gained from going at just that extra little bit wider, longer, and bedroom included. I think it's worth paying that extra money. But apart from that, Croyde's been a really strong model for 2016. I cannot see it going anything else like that for 2017 really. So that is the Croyde 6 Classic Air.